That was actually so funny when I was first time in America, and some people told me, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like explaining to them how I am, and they already walked further, and I was like, "Oh, they didn't even want to know the reply."
That's gotta hurt.
But it's, and then later I found out it's just how you say hello.
Kind of
Hi,
a
how are
greeting.
you? And it's like everybody does it. You go to a shop. But in Germany, you don't ask wie geht's.
No.
If you just to ask it.
Howdy und servus, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of The Pod Abroad. My name is Paulina de los Santos, and for some context, I'm an American from Texas who has lived in Munich, Germany the last 9 years. Almost a decade, which is a very, very long time. On this podcast, I share stories about life here in Munich, Germany, and I also have conversations with many different international friends and get to share their lived experiences as well. And they come from all over the world, but today is a very special day because I'm having a full-on conversation with a real German. What? With Jule. Jule and I met at work, and we actually met because, fun fact, we are both vegan. I feel like that's how we
started
connected.
The same day.
We did. We were in the same cohort at our last job. Ooh, look at that, our last job.
True.
And I think we connected on that. You were like, "Oh, you're vegan?" I was like, "Hell yeah." And I think that's not very typical of us. Like, girl from Texas, girl from Berlin.
Yeah.
Well, Berlin,
yeah, Berlin, actually, it's, I think, the second best city for vegans in the world. After,
I love it.
Either New York or London.
Yeah, Berlin's a vegan capital. Gotta love it. But I wanted to, kick it off and ask you if you could introduce yourself a little bit about who you are and like what you're doing here in Munich.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Jule, and what I'm doing here in Munich, actually, I'm not so much in Munich. Yeah, that's the thing. So I have an apartment. I live here, and I pay a lot of rent for not being here.
Yeah.
For like 29 square meters, but I have 47 plants in 29 square meters.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so I'm here actually because I think I wanted to give Germany a little, like, one more chance after having been to Hamburg, which I didn't like so much. Sorry for all the Hamburg people. Because everybody in Germany loves Hamburg.
Yeah.
And actually it's a beautiful city, but it's raining so much. But actually I have to say, after this summer in Munich, it's the same.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I moved here because I wanted to stay a bit more south.
Yeah.
And also very close to Italy.
Love it.
And to Austria also, because my sister lives there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing in Munich. So being here, but yeah, as you know, most of the time I'm not here.
That is very true. Jule is always here and there for her career. And that sounds like very conspicuous now. They're like, what does she do? Anywho, yeah. I wanted to have you on here also because I think you have a very cool story, that you're German, but you have lived so many years of your life outside of the country. So you have such an international background in that regard. And I wanted to first take it back and talk about life growing up in Berlin. You told me recently that you only lived in Berlin until you were 18. So, because I was like, Jule, we can talk all about like the nightlife, like partying, like going out in Berlin. And she was like, oh girl, like I did not experience, like not like the adult life, maybe in your teens, but like it was different, right? Tell me about growing up in Berlin.
Actually, it's great. And I'm happy I grew up in Berlin because my parents are both from smaller cities in East Germany, and they decided, luckily, to move to Berlin to become doctors, because so you could study in Berlin. That was great. So
Yeah.
I grew up there. And actually, I had some, that people like after a while, when they get old, they decide to move to the countryside, something like this. I'm so happy my parents did not do it, because I had some friends in class, and in the end, they ended up sleeping at my place for the weekend because, you cannot go out because,
Yeah.
it's not easy to come back home.
Yeah. When you're auf dem Land.
Outside Berlin, of course. In Berlin, all days, like even on a Monday.
Yeah.
You have trains and S-Bahn, U-Bahn all the time, or night buses. But and that was already when I was small. So, but that was good because, and actually I can understand that, like, you live on the countryside, it's also nice. But Berlin has so many options, really.
Yeah.
If there's a city with the most options, what to do in your free time, it's Berlin. Then
For sure.
yeah, and it's so good because, and we grew up without like phones, no smartphones and something, and I was actually outside all the time. And in Berlin, there's a cinema on the river.
Really?
Where they pick you up with a boat and you go there,
cool.
and
Like,
then you have it.
So cool.
And these things, I think that's possible only in Berlin.
Yeah.
So I really like that I grew up in Berlin. I also think that because of that, I'm quite open-minded.
Yeah.
And because many of my international friends, and I think I have more international than German friends, maybe, they always tell me, oh, you're the only German I got to know, Because I think I understand it's like difficult when you come from another country and then there's groups and these things. But when you grow up in Berlin, it's a bit different. You're quite open-minded, and now actually nowadays, if you go and order coffee in Berlin in German, then they look at you like, what?
So true. Oh my gosh, girl, the first time I went to Berlin, I think it was a few years ago. It was probably like 8 years ago when I went for the first time. I also was like speaking with my broken German because I had just moved here, and someone was like, oh no, sorry, like I only speak English. And I was just like, I was shocked, even though I speak English. I was just like, that would never ever happen here in Bavaria, in Munich. Like, they have too much pride.
Yeah. And I think, people go to Berlin because of this, because in the end, Germans, it, not an easy language.
Yeah.
With all this dative, accusative stuff.
Oh God, yeah. Jule has also been a German teacher, and she's been my personal German teacher many a times.
Many Deutsch Dienstag.
Yes. We used to like have lunch every Tuesday at work where we would only speak German. She helped me prep for my B1 exam, y'all. German is a very, very challenging language. So for sure, that's why a lot of international people are attracted to the city as well.
Yeah, because you can survive easily without knowing German. And I also know people who live in Hamburg since 9 years, something. They don't know German.
Wow.
They're from, for example, Italy. And they, they get along because in the end, in a big city, you don't need it that much. But I think it's still different in Berlin because you don't get that close to the people, to the local people living there if you don't know the language.
Yeah, I'd agree. And like, I see a similarity, of course, here in Munich too.
Yeah.
Particularly, for sure. If you're not speaking German to people.
But here you have to speak Bavarian.
Oof, a whole other game.
It's very hard.
Even for you.
Yesterday
right?
at the Wiesn, actually, I learned that you are not allowed to say, das ist lecker. Yeah, because that's actually a compliment. Like, if you say this for food. No, it's sau gut.
Sau gut.
Yeah.
With a T? With a D?
Gut with a D. Yeah.
Sau gut. Y'all will have to like let me know in the comments if I said that right. You can't say das ist lecker. Interesting. There's a lot of little different things in Bayerisch.
I learned that you really shouldn't say it. It's not.
And for those who don't know German, das ist lecker would mean like that food is delicious or like it tastes good. Wow. The more you know. Wieder was gelernt.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Berlin, and then at what point was it that you remember that you were just like, I gotta get out of here?
I think so. Actually, my parents gave me something for my. This is like you have this, and when you're like around about 15, 14 or 15, it's called Jugendweihe. It's a party basically, which you have when you are not in a church, because in the church you would have confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I'm not
Confirmation's
so
like around like
good with
15
these
years
church
old, right?
terms. Yeah, something like this. And but so because Berlin is atheist, and like actually you have many people that are not in the church or even at this time. And so the children would also have a party. And
Just for the vibes.
to receive some money, basically.
Cool.
You invite all your family and
Yeah.
you have a great dinner, which your parents pay for, but
Ooh.
you receive a lot of money.
And how old are you turning typically?
Like 14, 15.
Okay.
It's the same.
Same
Let's a bit older
concept.
than maybe, yeah. And so I think for this event, my parents gave me, or they yeah, as a present, a trip to Turkey in England.
Really?
2 weeks language trip.
Ooh.
And I was so afraid going, and I was thinking, oh my God, why do my parents give me something where I have to travel with 14, 15? I was 15.
Yeah.
All alone. But that's also something very German, you know? I think
I love it.
you could not, I think Italian parents, for example, wouldn't do this. It's
Yeah.
like, and yeah, all alone. So we went together to the airport, I remember, and then I was alone.
Going to the UK.
They were going to the UK, and I was living there in a host family.
Okay.
And I was vegetarian, and so I actually was in a very nice host family. She cooked all vegetarian menus, very, very good, and with two other girls from South Germany. And yeah, and there I enjoyed this so much. I was crying in the beginning. I was so afraid, but then
man.
I enjoyed these 2 weeks. I didn't want to go back. And
really?
Yeah.
That's
and
like a complete like flip of
because
energy.
you were like alone, but not, because actually we were a big group in the language school, and your parents are not there to tell you something you have to do, or you didn't have to be at home maybe at 7 or 8
And English
or something.
every day.
And of course every day, yeah, and it was just so, I think, and with this, I mean, you do this, you're very young, but after this you feel like, okay, I can go abroad, you know, I can go somewhere.
You got the energy and like kind of the will to want to
and
really
then,
leave.
Yes. Yeah.
So then when you were 18, you went to, you said Italy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why Italy? What was there?
Fun, actually. I think I did never tell you.
I don't think so.
No.
I know you've lived like your whole life, you like your whole Italian life, and like in other countries too. But I don't know actually why you first went.
Actually, I have some relatives who live in Italy and German, but married Italians. So they had kids.
Cool.
Who are my I don't know what. Maybe cousin or something. Anyways, I'm not good with this, but they are my relatives.
Yeah.
And they spoke only Italian. And then, yeah, it felt like so strange to have somebody in my family, but we don't speak the same language. And this is also the moment when I decided after school I wanted to go to Italy.
Wow.
Because it made me curious.
Yeah.
And then to decide where I go, actually, somebody gave me a map of Italy and I closed my eyes and put my finger.
That is such a Jule thing. Like, why am I not surprised?
But I didn't tell you, right?
No.
So, yeah. So, and then it turned out to be Genoa. Which many people don't like, but I love it. And whenever people tell me like, oh, you've been to Genoa, it's not so nice, then I'm like, I take it personally.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful city.
Like, you don't even know.
I mean, of course, if you come to a port city and you first only see the port and industrial side, it never looks good. Even if you come to Hamburg or something.
Yeah.
But
what's your favorite thing about Genoa?
I think that it has a harbor and the sea and the colorful houses. They are like that's typical for the Ligurian coast in Italy, that you have these houses in different colors, and they are built once and then they never do anything with these houses anymore. So you can see they are old, but it's not like in Germany when you have like one scratch and then everything is made up again. And so it looks like older, and so
So you were 18, you land, like you go live with your family there
No,
for a
no,
bit?
because they were in Florence.
Oh, so
Yeah.
in the end, you were just on
Because
your own?
finger was on
True,
Genoa.
true. And they weren't in
Yeah.
Genoa. Okay, and then
And then
how did it turn into 9 years, you said?
yeah, actually, I didn't want to stay that long, just 1 year. But I don't know what was when you came to Germany.
That's
You thought you would stay 9 years?
no, kind of
Yeah.
sounds like a similar story. I was just like, just 2 years. It's just a master's. 9 years later,
Yeah. See, still here.
it's just somehow.
Depends on what you find.
What kept you there?
Um, Actually, I don't really know. I think because I wanted to. So I stayed there, and first I did au pair, but actually au pair was not the good experience, and I don't know many people who had a good au pair experience. Actually, some different things happened.
Yeah.
But and then in the end, after 2 months, I stopped this and I started. That's funny. I started working as a waitress at the Hofbräuhaus.
Really?
Because they have
In Italy.
a Hofbräuhaus. They don't have it anymore in Genoa. But actually nothing to do with the real Hofbräuhaus. They just ordered the beer there. But
Yeah.
they were fully from Genoa, this family.
Was it trashy?
No. And I didn't know much Italian and I didn't know how to be a waitress, but they still took me.
Wow.
And then they asked me about, traditions. And then they said like, oh, you Germans, you like to eat krauts. And I never saw this in my life because in Berlin, we don't use this. It's like, for me, I didn't know anything about Bavaria or something. And then they're like, you eat Würstel and krauts. And I was like, no.
What is that?
I
love
don't do.
it.
So I also learned a lot. And then
About
they
German
put this
culture.
music, this Blasmusik, which they also put here on the Wiesn.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, that's typical German music. I was like, I've never heard this.
I love that. That's a true testament that like Berlin is ganz anders. It's so different.
And Berlin
from
and
Munich.
Bavaria, they're like
competitors.
Yeah, in a fight.
They are. I think they both have super cool things about them. It depends on what kind of person you are, right?
True.
Like, I think Berlin is
good
for
your
a lot
20s.
of people. That's what they say, right? Berlin's good for the 20s.
Yeah.
Munich's good for like settling down and just like chilling.
And if you have money.
That's true. That's super true. How did living in Italy shape you? Like who you are today?
Oh, I think a lot actually, because then the 20s, for me, it's like also the best times, most important. And, I started studying there so I subscribed at university. Actually, because I forgot to send some applications to German universities, which you have to do in advance.
Yeah.
And in Italy or in Genoa, for most of the courses, you could just register.
Yeah.
They had like one registration day with all the tents with different universities. And then you could see what you would like to do. And you just subscribe, And for some courses, of course, there was a test, but not for tourism languages. And then I was thinking, if you just stay, I was 6 months only in Genoa. You don't really, I think I could still speak, for just being there 6 months, speak quite well Italian because, at this time, nobody there spoke English. So you were forced.
Wow.
It's much more difficult if you want to learn Swedish, for example, because everybody speaks so good English and then or replies to you in English when you try to speak Swedish. So this
you would
didn't
know
happen.
because you're trying to speak Swedish, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
I also lived there some months. But with Italian, it was easy from this point of view.
Yeah.
I think things also changed now because with having all the tourists there, actually, people also speak English. But at the time, so I was thinking, sure, after 6 months, I'm quite good. But still, you can only learn a language and about the people and the culture if you stay some years, I think.
At the end of your 9 years, you're then very fluent in Italian. Did they see you still as like the German who kind of sticks out?
No, actually, they told me, you're more Italian than us.
Oh, I love it.
Because I was not on time. And but you get used to. And I like things. There's some nice things about Germans, some nice things about Italians.
Of course.
You can never say
Of
it's all
course.
bad or good. But I like the, more relaxed attitude, and in Germany everything is planned. And sometimes, me too, I do plan a lot of things, but sometimes I don't want to do this. But I cannot, I don't know, I cannot go out of this because I'm German, maybe.
Yeah.
But, in the end, they told me always, oh, you're Italian. It's like, I didn't feel after so many years as a foreigner. I don't know how you feel here.
I still feel like I
Yeah,
stick
but
out like a
depends
sore
also how
thumb.
you are treated, I guess. But I think Italians are more, I mean, I don't want to say all, but felt like they would really see me as an Italian, not as a
That's
foreigner. Or
beautiful.
at least my friends.
Maybe it would be different if I lived like in a very small village where like my German was 10 out of 10 and where I felt very integrated into like the community life, then maybe I'd feel different. But I feel like living here and my German not being where I want it to be yet, it's a work in progress, y'all. I don't feel like wildly integrated, like not as much as I wish I was. But that's also I've heard Munich in general, even for people who do speak German, that like Munich is very hard to like integrate in with the locals.
Absolutely. I was talking about this with a friend now because she told me she's having a hard time to find friends here because she's also not from Munich.
And she's German.
And she's German. And then she said, it's so difficult to find friends. And I was, I don't think so, because I found like a lot of friends. But then I found out that actually all of these, or most of these, 90% are from Climate Partner, from the last company where I worked. And because we were colleagues and we were having a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
And
such an international environment.
So it was so easy for me to find people there. But thinking of people I, got to know outside of the company.
Yeah.
Not so many. Like,
I love that you said earlier also that you are often sometimes the only German like amongst your friend group. Like that it's like a bunch of internationals and then you.
Yeah.
I love that. But that says something about you, that you have this kind of warm aura that also attracts kind of like, I don't know, a bit of like the energy and the vibes and like excitement, because maybe that's not like the standard for people from Munich.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
I'm just speculating. I want to talk a little bit about Germans in general and a bit of stereotypes, because I find it funny how, I mean, when we speak English, I mean, you've probably heard it amongst our friend group as well. People ask like, oh, but are they German? Like, it's like, oh, he's German, but is he German? And
So
I find that so
like
funny.
They want to know where his roots are. Really, like, his parents are also German, or
no, not necessarily, but like how people act. It's like, oh, he's German, but like if he's German, he probably really, really cares about like Lüften, which is like
I hate
opening the windows and like, you know what I mean? Like very specific, and like he has Brotzeit like every single day. That's like a German.
That's Bavarian, huh? Brotzeit is not something you have in Berlin.
True, you're like clocking it. You're like, excuse me, Bavarian. I love that. I'm here to speak to you to be held accountable. That's very important to me.
Good.
What are the things that you find hard to relate to with Germans? Now that you've lived abroad so many years as well.
You mean like, yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, in the end, there's actually a lot of things I find hard, but
anyone that just comes to mind.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. I come back from a trip or from work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I come back to my house and then I see letters from, I don't know, people who live there writing anonymous letters to other people who live there and saying, hello, I think you, I don't know, you're smoking weed on your balcony. Can you please stop it? And then other people writing papers also anonymously. I don't know if you mean me, but I'm not smoking this. And maybe you asked the neighbor
my gosh,
in apartment 11 or whatever.
Oh, they were like ratting the other one out. Be like, I think it's that apartment.
And then this thing. I'm missing this communication, you know?
Yeah.
I like to, yeah, I mean, if there's a problem or something, just talk to people. But
Face to
writing,
face.
yeah, face to face, writing these letters, and they even
That sounds very German.
print it out. Like
They weren't even
type it
handwritten.
on a PC and then they print it. It's not even a handwriting.
That sounds that sounds German to me.
Yeah, to me too. And this, like, then I think, oh my God, welcome back to Germany. Or if because I love to be on my bike.
Yeah.
And so if I'm riding my bike and then, I don't know, for maybe 100 meters, I have to stay on the wrong side of the street because it doesn't have sense. You know, I have to go to the left and it doesn't have sense to make this round.
Yeah.
So I just stay a little bit longer on the left,
Yeah.
even if this is not my side.
And they're going nuts.
And then some old people coming, and even I had one who stopped me by taking my bike. He stopped me. Yeah. He took, like, he took it, and so I had to stop. And he's like, "No, you cannot go on this side, and you're not allowed." You know,
That would never
it's a
happen in
rule.
Italy, right?
No.
He'd be
I mean,
asking for a fight.
In Genova, anyways, you cannot go by bike. It's very dangerous, and it's also because there's like mountains. It's built on a mountain, actually.
Yeah.
But also because there's no bikeways like you have here. It's nice in Munich, actually. Yeah, and then they're like, I even heard like they're shouting at me, like, you know, in German, it's like, oh, what did they say? Stop, du Fotze, or something. That's you can't. It's like very bad saying this, but it's like, what? You don't know me. It's just like 100 meters. I'm on the wrong side,
and I'm not like hurting someone.
and I'm you know, I'm paying attention. Like if I do
Of
this,
course.
it's not that I run or that I'm super fast and then don't look if there's somebody. So, and I stop if I see somebody walking there because I know I'm on the wrong side. But still, and then, or there are these people who just look at you like this.
The German stare.
Yeah. The German stare.
Very
Is
real.
it this? Yeah, maybe. And they don't say anything, but you feel it.
Oh, you
And
feel the
then-
negative energy. You're like, I'm in trouble. This person hates me. And I don't even know their name.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so this is something which is really hard for me to come back.
Yeah.
Like
The
when I
little
come back.
things.
Yeah.
I love how
The weather.
that too. I love how when I asked you this question though, like your first thought is like not people that you personally know, but just like daily interactions. That like it kind of can brings one energy down.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I've also had interactions like where I'm at a grocery store and like someone's, I don't know, just like having a little fit because like I'm in the way or something, a complete stranger. Once my dad was visiting here and it was literally like, I don't know, 8:15 in the morning. I'm at Rewe and we're going to buy, like he wanted some cheese. I'm like, okay, no problem. I open like the door to the fridge and I'm grabbing the cheese and like some old man literally started yelling at me because he said I was like in the way in German. And like, I lost it. I was just like, yeah, wirklich? Like, I was just like, like, I like got all heated because I was mad. I was like, it's 8:15 in the morning. Like, I'm just like opening the door and grabbing some cheese. I was not in his way. And he was like wanting to fight. I don't know, just like had this like negative energy. And my dad was like, whoa, like he was like, just come. My dad was like, it's okay. It's okay. And I was like, and I literally like that morning, that was like, I was like triggered. I was just like, no, like, I was like, no, like sometimes like people are like this and I don't know why. I don't know why in Munich. I'm like, I literally like, I was minding my own business. Like I would understand if he's like pissed off at me because I deserved it. But I was like, it's 8:15 in the morning. Like, so I feel you the day to day sometimes.
But you know, even if you deserved it, I don't know. Because no, I think you should, because he doesn't know what happened to you maybe in the morning. Maybe you had some bad news or whatever.
Exactly.
So I always think like, be nice to the people. First, you should be nice. Then if some people really piss me off because they do something very bad, then okay, but like, you know,
kindness first.
And it's like, you know what, you're in the way. Okay, he loses 2 seconds of his life.
Truly. So I'm like, I'm trying to work on that, on like not letting that really get to me. Oh, or like crossing the street here in my neighborhood and like I'm with Tim and of course like some old person's like screaming at us and like no, like there was no car. Like there was no
Yeah.
person, like we were like not harming anyone and he's yelling at us and I'm just like,
But what did he say?
like, oh, like you shouldn't be crossing or whatever. Like like the children, die Kinder.
Because you
There were
didn't
no
cross
kids.
at a traffic light,
Yes,
right?
but there were no kids around us. I'm like, sir, please, like, and like things like that will happen. And like, I think like once I literally just like smiled and I said like, I hope you have a good day. Like the like kind of like passive aggressive
that's good,
positivity. Cause like they don't expect it. They're just like, what? Like I was just being mean. Like kind of catches them off guard. But it does
that's
get to
actually
me.
good. So what I do in these cases, I say, I had this also once. There was a woman shouting at me. She said, "Why you're not allowed to walk here? That's private and whatever." And then I just said, "Okay, I got it. I'm sorry I didn't see it, but you know." This, why did you shout at me? I was just asking, why you shout? And then she didn't reply anymore. And I said, I've not done it on purpose.
Yes.
And I'm saying sorry and now I'm going back. But why did you shout? I don't like if people shout at me.
Wow. I love it. Like you made her think about it. You know
I don't
what I mean?
know. I sometimes I hope then okay, maybe no, this person thinks about it, but I don't know. I don't know.
Luckily, I will say I feel like that's generally with like the older generation here in Munich. That like but like young kids like don't care. Or like people like in the 30s like aren't policing.
No. Policing.
Like
that's a nice
they
word.
aren't.
So you would say in German they are working for the Hobbypolizei.
Ooh, for sure they are. All of the Oma Polizei here in town and the Opas too. Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah. Maybe I will also become like that when I'm an old German.
Who knows? I've told him actually before, I think that like in my little fits of like being like, like, I hate that this happened. Like when I'm trying to calm down, I've told him like, I was like, dude, I hope that one day, like if I'm still here in Germany and I'm old, that I'm nothing like them. I really hope that I'm nothing like these people. Yeah. Like, because like, I feel like they just got so much anger built up in their hearts. Like, yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. And cultural difference is that like where I'm from in South Texas, like near the Mexican border, it's like heavily like Latino. The older people get, the less fucks they give. Yeah? Yes.
But that's nice.
They're so chill. Like, I feel like people in my hometown, like literally like don't want to interact with any like any stranger necessarily, like, or they don't want to make a problem. They like to chat to strangers like for conversation, like for a little chit chat, but like they're not gonna be policing. Or at least I don't think so. Not as much as like the Germans here in Munich.
Yeah, but that's super nice to hear. Yeah, like this, because I was thinking now that you were saying they're old. Yeah, because some days ago when I was on my bike and on the wrong side for just some
that
meters.
Seems like a recurring pattern, Jule. Yeah, y'all tell us. Does Jule deserve to be yelled at when she's? I don't think so. I clearly don't.
Some
like 100 meters on the wrong side of the road.
I saw somebody coming. Okay, to my direction. Yeah. Walking. Yeah. And I already prepared in my mind, oh my God, now I'm getting shouted at. Yeah. But then he came closer and it was a young guy. And then I was just relaxed. And I was, oh no, he's a young guy. He will not say anything. Yeah. But especially if I see it's an old guy.
The fear like shoots up for sure.
Yeah. You always feel like you've done something so bad.
For sure. Yeah. No, I agree. Once that makes me think of one time that I cycled from Munich to Tegernsee, and me and my two friends,
you love cycling.
I know. Jule knows like I'm actually like not a cycling girl, but I don't like cycling in the city. That's different. I don't like cycling here in Munich because I just get stressed, y'all. I wasn't born on a bike like the Germans here were. They were like basically like birthed and then like they were put on a bike.
That's what you can also tell from Tinder, for example. There's not one in Bavaria who has a profile without a picture on the Rennrad.
Ooh, really? Yeah. And those are expensive here in Munich. The race bikes. it's just part of the culture, y'all. So I was not one with the culture. Don't like cycling in the city, but I do like going outside, like where there's like no people and cars. That's peaceful.
Yeah, I
I once
understand.
cycled to Tiganzi, and like me and my two friends, we took a little water break like outside of town in Gmund, Tiganzi, and all of a sudden, like we're on the side of the road, the countryside, and I see an old lady walking towards us, and I'm like, oh shit. I know how this goes. Like she's gonna be like, get off of my property,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like immediately, like we start like putting on our helmets, and she was like, no, like she literally came towards us and asked like, oh, brauchst du Wasser? And I was like, like,
Oh
do you
my
need
God,
water?
so nice.
And I thought it was the sweetest thing. Her name was Barbara. She invited us into her backyard
Oh my
also.
God,
And
that's
we
so
were just chilling
nice.
there, and she showed me photos of her grandchildren and her children. And I asked like, what's your husband's name? And she said like, natürlich, like Hans. Wir sind in Bayern. And I'll never forget that. And
Oh,
I was just like, hmm. And in that moment, I was like, wow, maybe it's really the older people in Munich. Maybe it's a Munich thing, because the people of the countryside, maybe they're just like, I don't know. Maybe they have less stress than like the city life. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
But it was a good impression. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay, clearly not all senior
of course,
Bavarians are like, obviously, they're not all like this.
of
And
course.
I mean, for the sake of this episode, y'all, these are all generalizations. Of course. Like we can't speak, we haven't met every single person in this
Of
country.
course.
These are just experiences that we've gone through.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I'm also happy that you have this good experience because, of course, we have. But yeah, I just feel it's like many people still.
Yeah, I would agree. Not all, but like
Yeah, not
many.
many. Yeah.
I would agree too. I wanted to now speak about you coming back to Germany, like after the 9 years of being in Italy and like also in other countries. You said you were in Sweden for a bit. Where else were you?
In France
Wow,
and in London.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of different places.
Yeah.
What made you choose to return back to your home country?
Actually, my company moved me.
Ah, really?
Yeah. So I was already.
Were you happy about that? Were you kind of indifferent?
Yes, I was happy in that moment. Because I felt it was time to go on
Yeah.
and maybe time to have a break from Italy also. And I mean, I studied there, I did my bachelor and my master's, and
Wow.
I had my first job. I already worked for a cruise company.
Yeah.
And
So that was your job.
that
I
was
didn't
my
mention it
job.
earlier, y'all. It was a cruise. It was a cruise ship. Okay,
But I
it's
was working in
not a secret.
in an office.
Yeah.
So in the office in Genoa. And then they actually had some part in Rostock, which is a city in East Germany, and some in Genoa, and they wanted to have them all in one city. So they founded like a new sub company, something in Hamburg. And some people were transferred to Hamburg from Rostock and not from Genoa. My team was not, but I applied for this also
Yeah.
because I want to change the job because I was working in the financial, and I mean, financial is not so interesting.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was not. And so yeah, I was moved. With this company it was easy because I didn't have to look for a job.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I was moved to Hamburg and I hadn't been before. I mean, my brother lives in Hamburg, and I had just been there visiting him once, but I didn't know how living in Hamburg is, and
it's different,
so I was
right?
just thinking like it's like in Berlin.
Yeah.
And then I had some friends actually from Peru. And they told me they lived in Hamburg some years, and they said, "Are you sure you want to go there because you love the sun? And in Hamburg there's no summer." And I said, "Yeah, come on, because you think that there's no summer in Germany. I know from Berlin because when I grew up, believe me, in Berlin, the summers were so hot and long." And so I was thinking it's the same in Hamburg.
Yeah.
And then I found out it's not. Sometimes I took a Flixbus from Hamburg. In July, it was 18 degrees, and I got off in Berlin with 32 degrees.
Wow.
And it's like 3 hours bus drive.
Yeah. Worlds of difference.
And worlds of difference. So, and I was not prepared for this. I mean, some people might say, okay, come on, the weather. But for me, the weather is
serious.
super important. And
Yeah.
that's why then I stayed in Hamburg some years, but I mean, when I stayed there, I was also very much on the ships, so not all the time. But yeah, I gave it a chance, but then I found that Hamburg is not the city for me.
When you first got back, I know you were like on and off the ship, but was there any like reverse culture shock that you were like, oh whoa, I'm not used to this again?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that comes to mind?
I don't know. It's like, it's every time. Actually, before I went back to Germany, I was some half year, 6 months in Sweden, and there I found that Swedish culture is much similar to German culture. So I was already getting a bit used to.
Yeah.
Like
the seriousness.
Yeah.
Versus like the easygoing Italians.
Germans are more
serious.
I don't know, more serious. Yeah, I think so. but still, compared to Italy, German and Swedish culture are quite similar. I mean, a lot of Swedish words come from the North German. So I was prepared, but then when coming back, then there was a reverse for sure for the weather.
Yeah.
But everything, like also the working, what you might not think, but for example in Italy, since years you have to track your working hours, and you always have to clock in and out, and if you're out for like 1 or 2 hours, you have to take a permit. Even if you go to a doctor, you have to, and then I didn't have to do these things in Germany. That was just like, go, whatever. So that was actually good.
Yeah.
It was strange, but and then I was used to very much this. I miss also a lot in Germany, that when you had some friends in Italy, and you're like having an appointment, maybe me and you.
Yeah.
But then I also want to meet another friend. I would just ask her if she wants to join us, even if you don't know her.
Yes.
It's like super normal to bring all your friends together, and which I really like, because if you do something in a big group, you have different activities, and it's like different.
It's the best when your friends become friends with your friends.
Yeah, and that's perfect, because then you can see
all just
them
meet together.
All together. And here I had to get used to this. Like when I told my friend, "Oh, let's go there," I could also ask a friend, and then they were like looking, "Why would you ask a friend? Because we have appointment, It's like, people are not so used to. I mean, of course, you have a friend group.
Yeah.
You also have big friend groups, but I don't know. It's not like, or sometimes I was just, a friend told me, I'm going with friends to this event. And then I just invited myself, saying, I could join, because I knew I was used to that, why not?
Culture.
And then they were looking like me, okay, I will let you know.
Maybe
they never let me know.
Maybe I've become German because I actually have an Italian friend here in Munich, Lara. And it reminds me that like a few times Tim and I, like, she's like, hey, like, do you guys want to go to Tollwood, which is a festival here in Munich? Do you want to go to Tollwood tonight? And we're like, yeah, sure, let's go. And she's like, okay, great, see you there. And we show up, and like her and her other 2 friends are also there. And we were like, oh, whoa. Like, and I mean, it's, of course, it's totally fine. It's sweet. But I'm just like, that's a cultural difference. I think that the Italians are just like, you know what? Like,
it is.
Oh, like, I didn't say this was exclusive. We're all hanging together now. Just a difference between cultures for sure.
Yeah. But if you're not used to, then, people might think, why does she want to meet also other friends when we have an appointment, actually? It's like, am I not enough?
Am I not enough? Was this not an exclusive date? Did we have to say we want to see you and only you?
Yeah. So this is something I had to get used to.
Yeah.
After this.
It's just a little different. Speaking about Germans now, I wanted to ask you, what do you think makes German, like, what do you think Germans, now how do I phrase this? Why do Germans want to leave? Why would a German want to leave Germany?
because
For
of
what
the
reasons?
weather.
Yeah, that can be valid for sure.
I think actually many people do it because of the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it has advantage to stay here for sure. I mean, if you work and then you don't work for a while, you get Arbeitslosengeld.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
unemployment
Yeah.
payment. Yeah.
So you have some time and still get some money to find a new job, but you're not like without anything.
Yeah.
And you have good insurance, and I mean, which is not, of course it is, you pay for it, but it's not that expensive, and even the dentist is included,
Yeah.
And there are good things. Or if you get children, you get Kindergeld.
So many nice benefits
Yeah,
about
which
like the
you don't
social
have in
life.
many other countries.
Yeah.
So I
Social
have some
benefits.
friends that actually want to move back to Italy, for example. Then they say, "Oh no, I don't get Kindergeld."
Yeah.
So
Depends what like phase in life you're at,
yeah,
right?
yeah, of course. So
But it's a reoccurring theme that I've seen like Germans leave for a big period of their life. They're like, oh, I was gone for 20 years and now they come
And then
back.
come
They
back.
always come back.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think I will stay so long. Nah. Yeah, no, but of course, I mean, in the end, yeah, if you have a job here, it's a safe job. You have a lot of unlimited contracts, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, not too bad. But yeah, in the end, I really think that people might just like to also see how. I think Germans are also they like to travel a lot. I
For
mean,
sure.
whenever you go, wherever you travel, even to Australia, even on the Fiji Islands,
They're everywhere.
I met Germans, and it's like, and then they're like, "Oh, you're also German, great, we can speak German." And then I'm like, "Yes, I'm actually here because I didn't want to meet Germans, but okay."
I find that hilarious. Germans, y'all, first of all, absolutely agree. Germans are well-traveled. Well-traveled. I think it's because of the system that enables like people to earn decently and have
we have a lot
vacation
of holiday.
days.
Yeah.
Y'all, you will see Germans everywhere around the world, but it's so true that y'all Germans, you guys hate meeting Germans on holiday. When you're like on vacation, you're just like, oh, get me away from these Germans.
But it's like, I don't know. I had an example this February. I was with a friend in Argentina. And on the bus from the airport to Buenos Aires. So I was literally there since 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
New
there was a
country.
guy talking to me, and we were speaking in Spanish. It was all good. And then he asked me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Yeah, from Germany." He said, "Oh, there are 2 more German people behind here in the bus. You can," and then he said, "You can talk to them." And I was like, "Okay, but why? Just because we are Germans?" Then you could also say, "Oh, there's a woman. You're both women. You can talk to her."
Yeah.
You know, just because they are Germans,
Yeah.
now we have to talk to
But
each other.
that's because-
But they also looked like they didn't want to talk to me, so it's okay.
I love it. But that's because in that moment, like your identity to being German isn't so strong. You're like, I'm in another country. Like we don't have to speak.
I think actually from the older generation, there are a lot of Germans that are happy to meet other Germans.
Yes.
My parents, for example.
With like deep pride and like excitement.
I mean, no, it's just because, maybe they didn't learn other languages not so well in school. For example, my parents are from East Germany, so they learned Russian, and they made English course later. But that's of course not the same as if you learn English when you're like 14 or something. And so I think because you look for other people to talk to, and it's just easier because of the language. So I would say there are people who like to meet other Germans on holiday, but for me it's like I'm there because I want to be somewhere else, and then maybe not be reminded of home and what I have to do at home.
Yeah.
Just being completely in another world. And that's why I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
Even though I also met very nice guys abroad. But just because of the traveling, I think Germans travel a lot, so they've seen a lot of other countries. And maybe that's also why then they think, oh, actually, I liked it really much there.
Yeah.
Or they fall in love with somebody. And then that's why they move. I know some Germans actually who moved to Italy. It was all because they fell in love with an Italian guy. Or, something like this. So I think reason number one is the weather.
Yeah.
Still, but also because they want to see how it's
like elsewhere.
And it's always good to open your mind to see how it's on the other side, also to appreciate what you have here, Then you
Absolutely.
come back and then you see.
What's one thing that you really appreciate now that you're back?
Okay, I shouldn't have said this.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're like, not the weather, not this.
My dentist insurance, what I was saying before. Yeah, because
That's such a German answer. I love it. Your dental insurance?
I mean, my normal health insurance,
Okay.
which covers the dentist, which in Italy, for example, does not. You have
Okay.
to pay the dentist visit.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's nice because I have to go to a dentist sometimes.
Yeah.
I have some problems, and it's so nice that it's covered here.
Love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love a response that involves insurance.
Oh, yeah.
What does being German mean to you?
I think first thing, I mean, of course, you think of people that are on time, but actually, since we have Deutsche Bahn, it's not so possible to be on time all the time.
True.
What I really like about Germans, and for me it's also typical, is that we are very honest and direct. And I think sometimes I feel people have a problem with that because they think we are rude, but we just tell the truth, It's like
Depends on the day.
yeah, of course, people are also rude.
Yeah,
but
for the
I
most
like
part,
that people are like honest. They would not give you a story. They just ask you straight away the things.
in the US, we say that us Americans sugarcoat it. Like she's sugarcoating it, meaning like.
And they would, like, for example, only ask you how you are if they really want to know. That was actually so funny when I was first time in America, and some people told me, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like explaining to them how I am, and they already walked further, and I was like, "Oh, they didn't even want to know the reply."
That's gotta hurt.
But it's, and then later I found out it's just how you say hello.
Kind of
Hi,
a
how are
greeting.
you? And it's like everybody does it. You go to a shop, but in Germany you don't ask "Wie geht's?"
No.
If you just to ask it. If I ask you, then I really want to know.
It's not a formality here. Like it's only if you genuinely want to know.
And I think if you say something, then it's always what you mean.
Yeah. I love that. That honesty. Last question would be, what's next? What is next for Jule? You said that maybe you don't want to live in Germany anymore.
Yeah, I'm thinking because, paying the rent all the time
Munich.
for not, in the most expensive city of Germany.
Yep.
For not being here so much is maybe not the best plan.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was actually thinking about moving to Genoa again, but because actually I would really like to live in Rome for a time, but I don't know anyone there. And
I know someone there, and she's German.
Oh yeah.
No, y'all would vibe. Y'all would vibe for sure.
No, but it's because it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Really love to be there. But I think like when you are 18, then it's so easy to have a new start somewhere else.
Yeah.
But with every year that passes, I think it's more difficult. And when you don't study in university times, it's easy because you study, you meet a lot of students.
Yeah.
Then for a job, you meet your colleagues. But, people have like then their groups, and it's not so easy. Yeah, to find people. So that's why for the moment I don't think about going somewhere I've not lived so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see where. I don't know yet. For the moment I will stay here.
I love it. You know I'd love it if you're here in Munich.
I know.
Because I'm here. But yeah, I guess.
And you as a German.
Yes, soon.
More German than me, yeah.
More German than you. Not
For
true.
sure.
Today, y'all, I asked Jule to be here at 2:30 and she came at 2:29.
Really? But I didn't know
Yup.
this. But I think because I was supposed, according Google, to be here at 2:31. But I think I walked faster than Google said. Or the tram was.
I love it.
On time.
You were 1 minute early. I gotta love it.
And I didn't know it.
Well, I'm very happy, for you being here in Munich, that you're choosing right now to be in this city, despite like your your many options that you
Yeah.
have, like with your career, of course, of being on the ship and like being able to move back. So I'm going to enjoy the moments that we still have right now.
Me
And if you're
too.
ever back in Italy, you know I'll go see you.
Of course.
Natürlich. Jule, thank you so much for being
thank you,
on this
Paulina,
episode.
for inviting me.
Yes, I had a lot of fun getting to know a little bit
Me
more
too.
about you and your background. And we have to eat Italian food sometime.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Next time at my place, I will
Some
cook.
good vegan stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much for watching. If you related to anything, please leave a comment down below. Or if you totally disagree with some things that we said,
That's fine.
that's totally valid.
Yeah.
Let us know also below. And until next time, thanks a lot. The Pod Abroad's video, audio, and music is produced and edited by Tim Teherne. Make sure to give us a follow and leave a comment if you like this episode.